Heartland of Nebraska Windows is locally and family owned with their own team of installers. Give the window experts at Heartland of Nebraska Windows a call today at 402-430-3852 or visit them online at heartlandofnebraskawindows.com. Elevate your home or business with the help of Heartland of Nebraska Windows today.
Everyone should have a collection of something. For some, it's stamps or coins, expensive cars, or even watches. But for a lot of people, it's sports cards. And there's no better way to grow your collection than with the help of Capital City Sports Cards, Lincoln's first and only collector-first sports cards and memorabilia shop. Capital City Sports Cards connects collectors of all ages and demographics with unique collectibles sure to bring any collection to life, no matter the budget. Visit Capital City Sports Cards near 56th and Old Cheney or through their eBay storefront. Capital City Sports Cards, Lincoln's premier sports card and memorabilia store.
Midwest Bank is hosting our annual Thanksgiving food drive, partnering with local Lincoln schools to provide Thanksgiving dinners to families in need. We hope to provide meals for more than 120 families in our community this year. You can help by dropping off a donation at either Midwest Bank location, 7001 Pioneers Boulevard or 2655 Jamie Lane. Any donation is greatly appreciated. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank, member FDIC.
The electrical workers of local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Hard work. It's what drives Nebraska. It defines our strength. Men like you live it every day. But sometimes, living up to those expectations can be overwhelming. If you're struggling, call or text 988. You'll get skilled, caring support 24/7. Live up to a different kind of strength, the strength to ask for help. Paid for by the University of Nebraska Public Policy Center. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland.
Strickland for three! And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Presented by NEBCO. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
It is a rainy Monday in the capital city. We're hoping you're about to brighten your day. Austin Norman, Eric Strickland with you for the next 2 hours here during On the Block, brought to you by NEBCO. You see it right below me on the left on stream. On the right, the good-looking one, the one with all the insight. The reason you're here, Strick. What's up, my friend?
No,
Long time no see.
Stop that. That's not the case. That's not the case at all, man. I'm doing good, man. It was actually, the drive wasn't very bad. It wasn't bad. Got home, good. Pretty good time. Yeah. Relaxed my mind.
Little woosah?
Yeah, man. It was enough time to. Actually, I'm kind of glad the game was the time that it was. Mm-hmm. It would have been a struggle trying to get back at 2 a.m. or something like that. But yeah, man, it was fun. I'm saying that to say that Austin and we went out to South Dakota up at Sanford Pentagon Center to watch Nebraska play, and so got some good rest. So I feel good. Feel good today. Other than the rain, it's necessary. It's needed. Cleansing. It's good. It's refreshing for that part, and hopefully the sun will shine. But I hear winds coming, and we're definitely going to start feeling some of that Arctic blast. A little cold at night.
Great.
Yeah, you like that, don't you? Also,
I do not. Not in the slightest. Not one bit. Cleansing rain is what this Nebraska football program needs.
That's a fact.
Ain't that the truth? Another one-score loss for the Huskers. We'll get into that here in the first hour. As always, we're taking your thoughts at 402-464-5685. Just a reminder with NEBCO, they're looking especially for mechanics right now for their constructors brand. Check them out at constructorslincoln.com or nebcoinc.com. All right, Stricky, 28-20, Nebraska falls to USC. Huskers had every opportunity to win the game. Every opportunity was there in front of them. They found a way to not do it. I want to take a little bit of credit. When you and I had our pregame segment, I said, I want to see Nebraska in a fourth quarter game. I want to see Nebraska find a way to go win against a brand name program, and maybe that'll be what gets the Huskers over the hump. Well, they don't get it done. It wasn't one thing. It wasn't two things. It was, once again, a little bit of everything. But let's start with the offense before we really dive into the defense. The big question that I have, Strick, is, did my eyes deceive me, or was the offense actually better? Was there more flow? Because if you look at it, Nebraska still only had one offensive touchdown drive and only went 2 of 3 in the red zone and kicked 2 field goals. And I don't know if this is just because I was hoping that the offense would be better, but I thought things did look procedurally smoother. I thought there was maybe better rhythm and flow to the way the offense operated in some of the play calls. Am I bugging, or am I onto something?
No, it did seem that way. And look, let's be real about it. They averaged almost 5 yards a carry. Mm-hmm. Didn't do it as much. I'm not even going to say that it was because they didn't want to. I think some of it's just kind of the timing on when they got the ball, and situationally, and then you're down and you look up and you've got to move it. I just think that you got to be real about it. I mean, Raiola's making significant errors. I mean, there are things. Let me just say, for me, the offense was not that things weren't there. It wasn't that things weren't open. It wasn't that opportunities weren't presented. For some reason, his body language is bad for me. Dylan's. He's got bad body language. That goes back to what I was kind of mentioning to you, because Austin and I we converse outside of the booth, and we don't just talk when we get in here. We actually communicate pretty regularly throughout the week at different times, and sometimes late and sometimes early in the morning. I'll send him something, he'll send me something, and we'll respond back and forth when the game's going. All that stuff happens. I sent him something a little bit this morning, and we're not going to make this a specific topic, but it's going to speak to something of this situation and what I saw as far as the body language was concerned, right? So on the sideline, gazing up, looking, just all these little looks like that. And what I sent him was Troy Aikman, one of the, you're not going to look at Troy Aikman as a freaking slinger like Dan Marino. You're not going to look at him like Peyton Manning. You're not going to, but he was steady Eddie. You knew when he came in, he was going to run it. He was going to hit it if it needed to, get down, long throws deep to Irving, and he knew how to control and audible, and do all these. He was just good at that. He was cerebral, and he didn't do anything that he couldn't do, right? But one time he was having trouble, and he went off on the line, on the offense, on the staff. He jumped. He got face to face with people, talked to the coaches, let them know what the deal was, and he was very adamant about it. And then you go to Dak. And Dak was looking, and this is a video, like Austin and I could possibly play it sometime, but I think you can understand the gist of what I'm saying. And then Dak was sitting there with that Dylan look, that just kind of in his zone, and the body language was bad. That's what I think. There's not a tune to the frequency of when. You know what I mean, Austin? I don't know what else to say other than that. He's reactive and not proactive, meaning there's people that were coming open, and you've got to be. It's like you're looking to the side where in basketball is considered the strong side. Yes, okay, maybe the ball's supposed to go there, but that's like running to the side where it's an overload of the defense. And the linebackers are all shit, and you're gonna run to that side like, oh, we got enough hats over there. No, there was things that came open he missed all night. Touchdowns that was there if he just looked the other way.
The one that comes to mind for me is the one to Banks. Nebraska looking to retake
the lead. A little out and up.
Yes, I think that was on the drive that Nebraska ended up kicking the field
red
goal.
zone
I have
again.
the notes here. Let's see if I can find my notes.
Red
here.
zone.
Yeah, so it was after the forced fumble by Ty Robinson that Mekhi Bayer jumps on. Nebraska runs on first down, doesn't get anywhere. Pass to Nair on second down. Nebraska winds up trips to the far side, top of the field. It looks like you have Jamal Banks running like a pick route for Isaiah Nair. USC doesn't communicate it, and Banks was wide open. The way it looked like that play was designed, Strick, was for Jamal Banks to be the first read. And as Banks is coming out of his motion that's taking him toward the sideline, he's starting to turn upfield. That's when Dylan Raiola needs to throw that ball. And you freeze the frame, and he's looking right at it.
He looked right at it.
And then he said, no, he decided, nope, it's not there.
Right.
He checks it down. Emmett Johnson gets tackled for a short loss. Nebraska kicks a field goal. Golden opportunity to take the lead. Golden opportunity to go back in front, 23 or 24 to 21 at that point. You get a touchdown after your defense creates a turnover, after your defense steps up, after been kind of getting shredded for a couple possessions there, and you miss it. Here's the way that it feels to me, Strick. It feels to me that in his head, I'm with you on reactive, but then I also think there's some predetermination going on with Dylan Raiola that might be speed of the game, might be play call, whatever. But on that play to Banks, Dylan Raiola needs to stick with what I assume was his first read for another quarter of a second, another half a second, and throw the ball. But then the next time he's faced with a situation like that, he locks on that first read for too long instead of getting off it quicker. To me, what it feels like is happening is play X will happen. It'll go a certain way. So then Dylan Raiola says, I have to do the other thing next time. It's like he flips a coin. It comes up heads one time. Okay, it's going to be tails next time. He calls tails, then it's heads. Oh, crap, it just went to tails. Now I got to call heads because it's going to swing back to heads. It's not reacting in the moment. It's not being anticipatory. It almost feels predetermined. It's almost like he's guessing wrong every time.
Yes. I agree. I agree with that. Then I look at it also from a standpoint of, boy, oh boy, the mojo. I mean, balls hitting off helmets, going into USC's hands. I'm talking, these are difference-making plays.
Mm-hmm. We'll get to that on the defense.
Oh,
we will
man.
get to that when we talk about the defense.
Yeah. So offensively, I think Holgerson called a good game. Mm-hmm. I'm not even gonna be upset. I think for the most part, he called a good game.
We talked about this a lot last week too. We'll see who on the offense Dana Holgerson likes. Who in your mind did Dana Holgerson
Carter Nelson
feature?
Again?
Okay. Why no Carter Nelson? Not out there at all, at least on offense.
And then you did some of the same stuff with Fedoni. Is not good at. The best thing he should be able to do is catch a ball and go straight forward. Mm-hmm. He tries to go to the side. He's not shifty. And then he ends up losing yards. A couple times he'll catch it, go back. I'm like, bro, every catch you make needs to turn straight north and get as much as you can. Mm-hmm. He's just not shifty enough.
But you know who was? Janarin Bonner.
Yeah.
Dana Holgerson likes him some Janarin Bonner. That 3rd and 10 conversion, he used him in multiple different ways.
Yeah.
Dana Holgerson likes Janarin Bonner.
Yeah. And I think he's a good possession receiver to have in there. Mm-hmm. I really think. I will say that I think they block better on the edge in some instances. I thought they blocked better.
Yeah, not bad.
They held a couple, I was just, so again, I'm looking at this, the little, now you get to come back home again, my boy. Mm-hmm. You come back home. Now, my issue is you've had, what now, 5 cracks? Is it four cracks?
4. You're 5-1.
You've had 4 cracks. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think of what, I'm trying to think of what it's like. Like, have you guys ever seen these movies where, oh, okay. You had to have seen this movie, Home Alone.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Classic movie, right?
Yeah, Joe Burrow's the lead.
Huh?
Joe Burrow plays the main character.
No.
Yeah.
Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah, he's Joe Burrow.
Oh, okay. Ooh, clone. No, so real talk. It's like you've been trying to get to Macaulay Culkin, and every time there's an iron hits you in the face. There's oil dropped on you. There's snakes biting you.
There's a nail in your foot. There's a spider.
That's
there's
what it feels like, man.
Yeah. Ice,
it feels like
blowtorch.
Yes, it feels straight like a Home Alone experience right now for the Huskers.
It does.
Right?
It does. Yeah.
Mm.
It's kind of insane how it keeps happening. How? Why? That's what we're all trying to figure out.
Some people could probably end up in a straitjacket. Like for real. like really?
Not wrong.
Like really? Like you got to get to a point where you just like, how? Like, why not me? Why? When is it? When is it gonna be like your boy said? My turn. When is it gonna be my turn? Golly, man, Huskers, man, you just got. You feel bad, but what do you guys feel? 402-4645, like 5685. What do you feel right now after watching this week after week after week? Like,
one guy that said my turn, Emmett Johnson.
Yeah.
Dana Holgorsen likes him some Emmett Johnson. He ends up with the most carries on the team. He has 10 carries for 55 yards. But here's the other thing, Strick. Targeted 7 times in the pass game, 7 catches for 36 yards.
That's what I wanted to see.
29-yard reception touchdown, the longest for Nebraska since Isaiah Nair against UTEP.
Yeah.
Just kind of crazy. Dana Holgorsen likes Emmett Johnson, and with 2 games to go, Stricky, he's the starter. He has to be the starter.
Yeah, and because here's the thing. It happened, at least I can in my mind picture at least 3 times where
Dowdell?
Dante Dowdell got the rock and he saw what he saw. And if he juke moved and went right, it's a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
He goes left with back flow, stiff arms the guy, but back flow gets him.
Mm-hmm.
Like some reason he doesn't have vision, but you saw it from Emmett Johnson.
Yes.
There was a couple jump cuts, a couple one cuts, a couple that he saw, felt or saw space and was able to get there and turn maybe a 2-3 yard run into a 5, yard, 6 yard carry.
Mm-hmm.
So I like Emmett Johnson a little bit better in the run game.
I'm with you. And we've done this song and dance for 2 years now, Strick, with Emmett Johnson. Overlooked, has a little bit of a role, but Emmett Johnson has proven at this point he gives Nebraska the best chance to win. Maybe early in the season, Emmett Johnson didn't take full advantage of his reps. Okay, that's on him. But I think after the last 2 weeks especially, Emmett Johnson has proven he's ready for the moment. There's, like you're saying, more wiggle, maybe a little bit more burst, slightly better vision, and a lot more out of the passing game. Good pass protector as well as receiver out of the backfield. If Nebraska is going to put its best lineup on the field offensively, to me, in Dana Holgorsen's mind, that looks like he likes Banks and Nair. He likes some Bonner. Emmett Johnson's the running back. But Strick, he did use all the tight ends, right? Fedoni had, 2 catches, 3 catches? 2 catches for 9 yards for Fedoni. But Borkacher and Lindenmeyer both had a catch as well. Dana Holgorsen must really like the tight end group. And with 2 games to go in the season, that could be good for Dylan Raiola, right? Get him some of those easy completions. We saw more quick game. We saw more short. We saw the you don't go broke, taking a profit mentality, I think, from Dana Holgorsen. After that first drive, of course, you take the deep shot on the first play, which was just kind of funny. But Nebraska's offense isn't fixed, but I don't think that we can say Matt Rule's completely off base when he says he likes the way things are headed right now.
Yeah, I don't think it's off base. I really do think that Holgorsen is okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's fine. You can see that it was a lot of the same formations.
Mm-hmm.
You could see a lot of that. You could see he was working off of some of that. You could see that he even threw a couple of wrinkles out of similar formations.
Mm-hmm.
I just think there were some things that were missed, at times. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I like it. You go on the road. You gave it a best shot. Again, I think it was just a miscue or 2, couple bad breaks. But sometimes that happens on the road. I mean,
mm-hmm.
You go in there and give it what you got. Are you still good with the defense?
We'll get to that next segment.
Are we going next segment?
Yes, because there's a lot to get to, at least in my mind, from the defense. Let's hit the text line here. Old Dad 34. Fellas, how much of Dylan Raiola's play is on coaching and how much is on him? 50-50? More Dylan than coaching? What's your read tell you?
Okay. Even though, here's the thing. I've been in situations where I might be frustrated at the way that my coach is calling plays. And I might throw my own in there in transition or something like that where you don't have time to hear it from the coach. Mm-hmm. Because you can feel something else or you want to get someone going, right? Mm-hmm. At the same time, you've got to execute what's given. Regardless, like it or not, you've got to do the best with what's been given to you. That means, okay, I don't like this whole situation. Let me create enough time and at least drop this ball off. Yeah. So in film, I can show, I still think he's holding the ball too long. I think he's reactive in his decision making, or he's anticipatory, which he threw a couple balls through people's hands. They just got lucky. They didn't catch it. But I would say it's probably right now, as I look at it, it's a little more Raiola to me than it is coaching.
Fair enough.
Because at the same time, I thought this game was called pretty well. I knew there were guys open. I think you missed them. You'll see it on film. But I also think that there was probably some bad calling early on. So frustration sits in. You've got to break out of that mental block of frustration. Whatever you may be feeling, it's a different game now. You know, to me, he didn't seem as if he was engaged. Now, maybe that's his demeanor.
That's where I struggle because he is so chill and laid back. But to your point from what you started with, there's got to be a time when you turn it up. Where's his sense of urgency on the field? I'm willing to believe he prepares with a sense of urgency. But sometimes that needs to come out emotionally on the sideline. Not getting in guys' faces unnecessarily, but if he's supposed to be the heart and soul of the team, be the heart and soul of the team emotionally. Even as a freshman, I don't care if it's a big ask. You're the quarterback. Go fire someone up.
I don't even really need to address that. I said what I said.
Speaking of quarterback, we have a couple comments here. One from, I believe it was Bill and Bennett that said it, and then Money G in Kansas. Heinrich Haarberg, does Nebraska need more of him, or are they using him right?
I mean, in the long run, Heinrich is probably not going to give you enough to win throughout a full season. Mm-hmm. I think he's a good mix-up if Dylan is struggling. I think you're at this point now. If Dylan is struggling, you've got to go and, give a different look. I don't think they had enough time to put in a lot of stuff that maybe Holgorsen would like to have. Mm-hmm. I think they had a small package plan with him on certain things. And then the rest of it was the regular game plan. Mm-hmm. I think you should add some, I think you should give some looks with him similar to what Texas A&M. Now, Texas A&M really liked what they did with the new quarterback, Smith. I think his name's Smith. The quarterback that came in when they beat LSU. I think it's Smith.
Marcel Reed.
With Marcel Reed, I think he liked the style that Marcel Reed brought. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of the stuff that he drew up in his mind was catered to him, right? I think they need to find stuff that's catered to Haarberg so that when they get in, the offense is like a shift to like that program. Mm-hmm. So he doesn't have to stay in the same program that Dylan is in. Dylan is a pocket passer.
Without great pocket awareness, right?
Right.
That's a great combo.
When it breaks down, when the pocket breaks down, he did better earlier in the season in being able to step up and slip out and create more time. Then now it's like he settles to stay in the pocket. I don't know if that hit did anything to him. Like even in that one situation where he slid.
Before the hit. It was before the hit.
Where he slid, where he slid, and it's like you had a half an inch. Like, I can understand the mental game that it plays on you, probably taking that you don't want to do that again, but dive.
Roll forward.
like something, you needed that first down. That literally took a first down away. So it's just little things like that right now is kind of looking funky for me.
Jordan P says, put Heinrich at receiver and let him block. It can't get much worse out there. 8485 says, put him out at tight end. 0658 says, the series Harburg was in. He should have stayed in. They were running well, burning clock, kept USC's offense on the sideline. Sure, Raiola has a higher ceiling, but he's not that guy right now. I'm okay with how they're using Heinrich Harburg. I really am. Maybe add another run or two on the same series. But I still think Dylan Raiola is Nebraska's best chance to win moving forward, right? Get him the reps, let him play through it. And sure, maybe there'll come a point. But I feel like if Dylan Raiola was going to get benched for a full series or, a couple series or a quarter, whatever it was, it would have already happened, right? From some of the roughness that we've seen. We have OGCJ saying, DMX said it best. Same old crap, dog, just a different day. Hizzlebear says, Fedoni moves like a transformer.
Bruh.
Dang.
Bruh, very, very robotic. And very robotic.
Mm-hmm.
And again, he's been through a ton of injuries, so I can't even, I couldn't even imagine, what that's like. At the same time, this is why I say somebody else, put somebody else in there. The one-handed catch by Bork, was it Lindemeyer?
Yeah.
Lindemeyer.
Mm-hmm.
The one-handed snag. I'm saying, man, give some of these guys some reps and some looks. So
I don't know.
I don't know what the answer is, but I just know this. You have 4 cracks at it, and you still right there.
And you're halfway home.
Bruh.
You're halfway through those 4 shots.
If you do not go bowling, whoo, I hate to see what it's going to be like down there at the Hawks practice facility. Oh.
Cubsker says he feels like Nebraska's best shots were the last 2 games, and with how Wisconsin played Oregon, he thinks that if Wisconsin shows up with half the effort they played with on Saturday, Nebraska loses by 14. There's a lot to get into with both Wisconsin and with Iowa. You might have heard the reports today that Wisconsin fired its offensive coordinator last night and then said it's going to be play calling by committee. Doesn't usually work for a lot of teams. And Iowa's a quarterback that took over for Cade McNamara out for the rest of the year. So Iowa has to go back to a guy that they're not feeling very confident in at quarterback. Here's the thing. If there's one thing I can tell you these games are going to be, it's uncomfortable for Huskers and Husker fans. It is not all lost. Nebraska missed 2 opportunities, maybe not its 2 best opportunities. Who's to say? We'll look forward at that as we move throughout the week. What we're going to do next, look at the defense. 440 yards allowed, a lot of explosive plays, a lot of miscommunications, and most importantly, Stricky, missed opportunities. A defense that could have changed the game, flat out didn't. Does Matt Rule have a point when he says the players got to make plays? We'll get into that when we get back.
Follow Austin Strick and On the Block on Twitter at Austin Orman, eStrick20, and On the Block 93.7. More of On the Block coming up.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next big opportunity? Constructors is hiring. We're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. We offer competitive wages, great benefits, brand new service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for our shop and multiple field technicians. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at constructorslincoln.com.
Attention students and anyone else looking for a great deal. Sun Valley Lanes and Games has the ultimate weeknight special. For just $15.95, enjoy unlimited bowling, lucky putt mini golf, and laser tag. Flash your college ID at check-in to receive $2 off your admission. It's the perfect way to unwind Sunday through Thursday nights. Check out sunvalleylanes.com for hours and availability. Sun Valley Lanes and Games, located at 321 Victory Lane.
Lincoln's best place to meet, eat, and compete. Sun Valley.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
Nebraska's Christmas Light Show is back and bigger than ever. The Magical Lights of Lincoln Christmas Show runs from Black Friday through New Year's Eve at Sandhills Global Event Center. Bring the family for a show they'll never forget, featuring over 1.5 million lights. Cost is $25 per vehicle from Monday through Thursday, $30 on Friday and Saturday, and also $30 on Christmas Eve and Day. Purchase your tickets online today at ChristmasLightsInLincoln.com and get ready to experience a drive-through light show like you've never seen before.
Salt Mine City is now open at 8th and R in the Haymarket. Come check out Lincoln's newest brewery with 12 beers on tap, including the popular Single Axle Light American Lager, Brick Street Amber Wheat, and so many more. There's daily drink specials like $1 off Moscow Mules on Tuesdays, $6 IPAs on Fridays, and $6 Bloody Marys on Saturdays. Stop by Tuesday through Thursday from 4 to 9 p.m., Fridays 4 to 11 p.m., Saturdays 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Sundays from noon to 8 p.m. It's Salt Mine City, Lincoln's newest brewery at 8th and R.
Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket as soon as the clock hits 0 for the Jay Foreman postgame show. Listen to expert analysis from the Husker Hall of Famer, an 8-year NFL veteran, for 90 minutes after the game. The Jay Foreman postgame show, sponsored by Anderson Ford, Tanner's Bar and Grill, Tavern 180, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Vinnie Kreekak of State Farm Insurance, and Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. 93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today: showers likely throughout the day. It'll be breezy too. An afternoon high around 59. Night showers likely early, then partly cloudy. The low around 41. And tomorrow we'll see mostly sunny skies return. It'll be breezy with a high around 51. I'm meteorologist Kyle Flecker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
At Koppel Chevrolet GMC, we are thankful for so many things this year, starting with our great employees, a generous community, our military personnel, and most importantly, our loyal customer base that continues to drive that money-saving mile of Louisville. Hi, this is Sean Callahan, and on behalf of everybody at Koppel, we want to wish you a happy Thanksgiving and safe travels to wherever they may take you. Happy holidays from Koppel Chevrolet GMC.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is On the Block. You Strick, I'm Austin. Appreciate you guys for chiming in. Lane, appreciate you on the YouTube stream. Jim as well, going off. We're not going to talk a lot of Wisconsin today. We will get there throughout the week. We're taking a look mostly at Nebraska and USC today. Stick with us here, 402-464-5685. We'll take all of your thoughts on our Starter Human Jewelers text line or on our comment section. We're going to talk some defense now. Matt Rule had his weekly availability, and he said a couple things here, Strick, specifically about the explosive plays and what happened in the defensive backfield. So here's the first cut from Matt Rule. Why does he think defensive breakdowns have been happening?
I think you're playing anything you say right now will sound like an excuse, so I have to be very careful. I think you're playing better teams in bigger moments, more complex offenses. You know, I mean, you start looking at what, you're playing these Pac-12 teams. The offenses are more complex than what we saw last year. Some of the offenses we saw last year were like inside zone, RPO, and a couple drop back passes. You're seeing way more. And so, when you're facing really talented players with a complex offense, one mistake can be a touchdown. At the same time, I also expect our guys to regroup and play it better. But probably that.
Fair enough. Strength of schedule is ratcheted up. Nebraska is playing better teams. And credit Lincoln Riley, right? He called a good game. Maybe the gutsiest call was on the 4th and short. He goes the short side speed option. USC picks up 34, and the game felt about over at that point. How did the defense respond to the film, right, Strick? They've gotten eyes on it. They've seen what the mistakes they made were. Here's what Matt Rule had to say about the defense's response in the film room.
They were all three touchdowns. The first play where, it's cover 3 and guy scrams around, the guy gets behind Tommy. The touchdown over top of Malcolm's head, it's cover 2 with a safety that chases a route. That's a veteran secondary that didn't play very well in those key moments. And I think they'd be the first to tell you that they're really upset with themselves. The deep touchdown, to number 2, that should never be a touchdown. I mean, those are all simple day one routes. So we had every opportunity, so again, and I always say, because I'm always very careful what to call out, what not to, but my point to our guys is this. I think after the game, when you guys asked me, do you feel snake bit? No, I expect our cover 2 safety to play cover 2. And I expect our cover 3 corner to stay deep. And if we had done that in that game, those plays would have been eliminated. I mean, that young man was running away from MJ. We expect us to sack him on the first long play on the right side.
I expect our cover 3 corner to play cover 3. I expect our cover 2 safety to play cover 2. What did we hear last Monday, Strick? Players got to make plays. It was not a good day for Nebraska defensive back. Seemed like it was set up to be, right? Sierra Wright balled out in his homecoming. Pick 6, blocked field goal. He played really well.
Harzak got up to a good start. Couple big, deep throws. Yeah, they tried to test him.
Has the one go through his hands. Have the one bounce off his face mask. And what in the world was or was not going through Tommy Hill's mind? Terrible missed time on the jump for the long pass. And then you try to one-arm a guy out of bounds? He's one of the best return men in America. He's going to make you miss. You let him walk in?
I felt the same way.
Flat out embarrassing.
I felt the same way.
Tommy Hill. Flat out embarrassing.
I felt the same way on that. And part of me wanted to give deference because of injury, but then I was like, nah, bro, come on.
If you're on the field, excuse is gone.
Yes, that's exactly right. It's disappointing, but you got to also look at the fact that they put up almost 200 yards rushing, and that's supposed to be the most stout part of your defense. And and I'm not talking about scramble runs or mostly from Maeva.
No,
but I'm talking about Woody Marks. They just lined up, and now at times they were good, but it wasn't a consistent. I mean, a guy that's averaging almost 8 yards a carry on you, my guy.
That's a problem.
That's a problem.
Because you want to make USC one-dimensional. You want to make a lot of teams one-dimensional, but USC especially, right? Matt Rule said it before the game. We can look back through history. The best Lincoln Riley offenses run the ball to set up the pass. A lot of good offenses do in college football. Strick, this felt very similar to Purdue a couple years ago when Nebraska let Devin Mockabee go crazy. Purdue wants to pass. You know what their head coach and coordinator want to do, and you let them do the thing that they're just doing to say they did it. They had no intention of doing that, but once they hit on that counter play where they pull the guard and I think the tackle, they hit it big. They went back to it. They stuck with it. Nebraska didn't fix it.
And like I said, you had a couple of instances where you've had guys that made plays. Like either Nash or Ty Robinson getting up in there and beating the pulling guys and making a play, but there was missed tackles. There was guys that you could have tackled for 2 yards and end up with more. So it was, it was. It's that thing. That same feeling I have, like being frustrated, and I'm the Home Alone guy, and I'm trying to figure out how I can find this little kid, this unassuming little kid that is just. Not the word. What's the word I'm looking for? He's just he's just evading me. Like the wind is just evading me at every turn. It's like every time I see him, it's elusive. It's just you're right there in my grasp, and something is just I'm befuddled, bro. Like I don't even know what to say. Like. That's what's crazy. I know the text line's got to be feeling like me right now.
Hey, let's hit the text line.
I'm befuddled. I have no idea like what to even say about this stuff. So crazy.
Hey, Aaron says, I thought John Butler was the defensive back guru, not looking good. Matt Rule sounds like he's saying it's not on John Butler, right? Think about the injuries that position has gone through. John Butler hasn't had the full complement of guys available all year. Nebraska's scheme doesn't play a lot of press, right? Nebraska's going to give up some yards passing because they play off, right? Quick game is available. And Nebraska was in position to make plays. Hartzog could have had that pick in the end zone. It's a miscommunication between two guys who have played at least 3 years in the defensive backfield on one of the other touchdowns. And then one goes off his face mask where he's not in great position, but he still has a chance to make a play. Javen Wright has a chance to make a play on one that kept a drive alive, right? At some point, you're in the right position. You got to make a play, right? Yes, maybe it's cosmic, and USC got these bounces and Nebraska didn't. But I don't think this is John Butler's fault right now. I'm with Matt Rule. Sometimes you just got to step up and make a play, Stricky.
Like you can only, like you said, you can only do, all you could do is put them in position, put them in place to make the play.
Mm-hmm.
And it's up to you to execute. And that's probably something what we saw last night in the basketball, or yesterday in the basketball game too.
Yeah.
When we get to that.
That'll be at the top of the 3 o'clock hour. 0650 says, make them sit. Play those young guys. Can't lose the red shirt anymore. Can't preach the caring, not coddling, and then continue to put those undisciplined mistake makers out there to keep playing like that.
Yeah. And
you with it?
Well, yeah, it's feeling very Bronny James-ish right now.
Hey, there's no South Bay Lakers for Nebraska to send anyone to. Though.
Right, man. It's feeling South Bay Bronny James Lakers is how it feels like.
But who are you going to go to at corner? Who else do you have?
There's nowhere to go.
This is part of the problem Nebraska ran into last year, especially at receiver.
Yeah.
Who else? Jeremiah Charles has not proven anything this year. Would you rather give him another chance over Malcolm Hartsock? I wouldn't. Jeremiah Charles got toast just because other guys are better than him.
Yeah. Yeah. Recruit.
Hey.
Get out there, get him, my boy.
Speaking of that, we'll have Brian Munson of Husker Online here on the Aloe Fiber VIP line coming up in just about 45 minutes. Nebraska does get the flip from Dawson Merritt, and they're welcoming in their 2027 quarterback target. Trey Taylor is his name. He'll be in town for Wisconsin. Cubsker says, if you don't make plays and show effort, put a freshman in who's hungry to knock the senior on his rear end. I don't want to say Nebraska doesn't have anyone, right? But I also think there's some of this attitude going around, like, oh, Nebraska lost its opportunities. It only gets tougher from here. Nebraska is going to do what Nebraska does. They're going to play Wisconsin and Iowa close. It's going to come down to the wire. Now, the hope is that it looks more like Colorado, right? Where you get out to a big lead and you hold on from there, where you're boring in the second half. 0650? No, Jeremiah Charles was not necessarily in the right place at the right time. He was 2 or 3 steps off of guys who were open, right? Fantastic athlete. Still needs to learn the nuances of playing the position. Don't forget, just in, I believe it was fall camp, maybe it was spring ball, but over this last offseason, he switched from wide receiver to defensive back. So I want another year of development for Jeremiah Charles before I see him out there, another offseason at the very least there. Corey says, the way I saw those bounces, they were exactly like Nebraska received against Colorado. That should have been a bigger sign to us back then that this offense needs some luck as well as the skill to make them competitive.
Recruit. Go out there and get them.
Make the plays available to you.
Yeah.
It's all there. It should be all there.
They're there. Tony White's a good coach. So just recruit. Go get them. Find what you need. Now they were hitting. They were coming up. Still need some work. They didn't. The edge didn't get there like I'd hoped to. That's kind of quieted down a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Run game somewhat porous. Recruit. Keep getting them in here. That's the only way you're going to get better.
Cubsker says we've been looking for the first half of Colorado since the first half of Colorado. If it was going to happen again, it would have happened by now. But here's the thing. If you've done it once, you can do it again. We're going to have this conversation about Nebraska men's basketball coming up at 3, but I think there's a very important piece that still applies. The fire, the sense of urgency that Nebraska played with on the final drive of the game, Nebraska needs to play with every drive of the game.
Yeah.
It can't take a big game for you to be emotionally and mentally invested to the fullest. From the time you wake up that morning till the time the game is done. If you're not 100% fully mentally invested, you're cheating yourself, you're cheating your teammates. The fact that Nebraska put that Colorado half on film, we're not expecting that all the time. But we should see it more consistently than we have. And sure, maybe you can say it's the fluke, but we saw it. We can hold Nebraska to that standard because that's a dang good Colorado team. Go play like it again.
I don't want to even finish up with what you just said because you did that with passion and fire. And that's the type of passion and fire that we need. And we just haven't been, it's not that we haven't gotten it, but let if the urgency, like you said, who said that, Cupsker?
Yeah, Cupsker.
Listen.
It's the reason you're one of our favorites.
If you haven't seen it yet, it's kind of like a senile individual who is set in his ways. And is that a switch that you can just flip on and off? Like anyone can catch lightning in a bottle once. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Anybody can walk into and stumble into a lottery ticket that happens to hit.
Mm-hmm.
Very rare, but you can. It can happen. But when you need to flip a switch into that consistency thing, that's either got to be in you. Because if you haven't seen that, you can build up to it. Mm-hmm. It's just not, we're so used to this microwave life and generation and you know, just being able to go into the kitchen and head down to a McDonald's and come out with something ready-made. Doesn't matter. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And go down to Buffalo Wings and Rings, and within minutes, you got wings walking out the door. But that you just to leapfrog all of the other things and just find yourself into it. Let me ask you the question: Did you feel that it was a full game versus Ohio State?
Closer, but not 60.
Right. So if you would have seen a continuation of what you saw there
against UCLA,
right?
Mm-hmm.
You would have had. But if you see regression, that means it's not in you. Yeah. You only got up for what?
The big game. When it was easy to get up.
There it is.
Can't do that.
It's unfortunate.
2 chances
if
left.
If going bowling's not enough for you, that's a shame. If not, for me, if not going exceeding abundantly above what you could ask or think, that's a shame. Because you Colorado comes out better than you in the same, and you beat them. And you beat them.
Mm-hmm.
They come out, and now they're looking at a championship potentially game.
Yeah. In
their second year.
Oh, first year back in the Big 12.
Oh, first year in the Big 12, but second year under the coach.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Indiana in your own dang conference.
So again, that tells me it's not all coaches.
Mm-hmm.
It's something in you.
Or right now, not in you.
That part. Pause.
Let's go to break. We'll wrap up Hour 1 of On the Block with more of your thoughts when we get back.
Download our app by searching for 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day wherever you are. More of On the Block next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
I'm Steve Carper, and I'm here to tell you that there's never been a better time to buy flooring. Whether you need carpet, wood flooring, ceramic tile, vinyl, area rugs, or custom blinds, you got to come to O Street Carpet. With our 12-month interest-free financing, you can do one room or your whole house and leave your holiday budget intact. And with our huge in-stock selection, you can buy today and we'll install it right away. 1732 O Street. We want to make you a customer for life.
Everyone should have a collection of something. For some, it's stamps or coins, expensive cars, or even watches. But for a lot of people, it's sports cards. And there's no better way to grow your collection than with the help of Capital City Sports Cards, Lincoln's first and only collector-first sports cards and memorabilia shop. Capital City Sports Cards connects collectors of all ages and demographics with unique collectibles sure to bring any collection to life, no matter the budget. Visit Capital City Sports Cards near 56th and Old Cheney or through their eBay storefront. Capital City Sports Cards, Lincoln's premier sports card and memorabilia store.
Hi, my name is Molly Party. I'm a realtor with MP Dodge Real Estate. I'm a newly licensed agent and considered numerous brokerages before deciding on MP Dodge. I chose the company that gives me the most support in my new career, plus guidance and encouragement along the way. MP Dodge has a unique mentoring program for new agents. It's helped jumpstart my career and has a supportive management team and administrative staff. So if you're contemplating a career in real estate, look no further than MP Dodge. It will be the best decision you make.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road.
Garage doors can be expensive. Are you keeping yours in the best condition possible? This is Cameron Hall with Doors Plus. Doors Plus is a locally owned business that prides itself on the fast, reliable, and friendly service. Doors Plus offers flexible scheduling so you can book an appointment that fits your busy day. My team and I will come out to your property, both commercial and residential, and provide you with the necessary information you need to make sure your garage door is in working and smooth condition. Give Doors Plus a call today at 402-590-5800 to book an appointment and learn more about our preventative maintenance plans. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
Over 75% of the patients that come to Limitless Male have been told over and over again by their primary care providers that their testosterone level is fine. Guess what? If you have all the symptoms of low testosterone, you're not fine. Come get a second opinion at Limitless Male. We have helped tens of thousands of men feel optimal again, and we can help you. Stop waiting. Come see the men's health experts. Book your free consult online at limitlessmale.com.
If you're a homeowner or a business owner, you have a lot of projects, and no one has an unlimited budget or time. Sunbelt Rentals makes all jobs less stressful with no need to purchase large equipment or hire a crew. You can do it yourself with rentals and everything from aerators and power rakes for spring yard work to stump grinders, concrete mixers, tile saws, and more. Check out their inventory in Lincoln, north of Cornhusker Highway on 56th Street, or online at sunbeltrentals.com.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
As we figured, y'all still have plenty of thoughts from Nebraska USC, so we'll get to those here in the final segment of Hour 1. Do some more big picture college football stuff tomorrow when the new rankings come out as well. Let's start with 1562. Okay, there's a lot going on here. Two of them, he says, you know how to win this game at home on Saturday. The players need to walk into an empty stadium. I guarantee that would light the fire they need. They would win. Why would they play with fire and energy? They have been handed everything without earning it, and this fan base keeps showing up for a team that doesn't show up themselves. It's pathetic. Stop showing up until they earn it on the field. Kind of sounds like the nuclear option there, Stricky.
Hey. Hey. I wouldn't be mad. You can become a spoiled brat. Now, I know some of you guys have kids. When you were a kid, there were a lot of things you probably didn't get. You probably walked down the aisles and cried, and people looked at you funny, and mom said, if I get you back to this car, you better get on some get right. Mm-hmm. But now you give them the iPad, and you give them the toy, and you give them the TV station, and you get whatever it is to keep the mouth. Like, kids can get spoiled. Young men can get spoiled. NILs can spoil you. You start feeling yourself, smelling yourself, thinking that you are some form of God's gift to this, this state. It can be very humbling. Walk in there with nobody in there one day. See how humbling. You become the team that broke the streak.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
And not the bowlless streak right now.
No, not you've already ran roughshod through that one. I'm talking about the sellout streak.
Mm-hmm.
You become the team that did that. I don't know if I'd want that one on my legacy, with all the greatness that have come through, and even the bad ones that's come through, and struggle bus that came through, in the Frost era, and all of the. But you're the one that hasn't been to the bowl, sat on the bowl line. Hey, that's like going bowling. You've been bowling, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, you ready?
I put
for
up
this
150.
analogy.
I put up 150.
Cap.
Hey, that's all I got. That's my
major
cap. Ceiling. No, I hit 150.
Okay.
I can do it.
Okay.
Anyway, sorry. Continue.
No problem. You went bowling.
Yeah.
And if you're bowling, not just for fun, you're actually bowling with league intentions, score intentions, or whatever the case may be. When you go to do your strike, stance or whatever, and you touch that line and you go over, it doesn't count.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever you just bowled, it could have been a strike that went down the lane. It doesn't count. There's nothing you're doing, saying, coach speak, player speak, production on the field. There's nothing that would change the way people feel and think.
Mm-hmm.
You can have over 1,000 yards, 1,500 yards receiving, but you don't go bowling because you stepped over the line and didn't complete the task of what you were about to bowl. They're missing it. Like if that happens, I'm telling you, I don't know if the Nebraska fans can take it one more year. I don't know. Maybe there's a lot of addiction to sugar and Kool-Aid. Maybe.
Well, we see the same. We see the same thing every week, Strick. We see some people on the text line, which I think is probably the most fascinating place in the world right now. Some people saying, "Yep, it's over. You lost your opportunities. 5-7, here we come." And some saying, "Hey, look, Wisconsin and Iowa have issues too." So
yeah, so did USC.
So did USC.
So did UCLA.
So did other teams, right? Illinois had its own issues.
Yeah.
Indiana, Ohio State had issues that Nebraska wasn't able to overcome. So I don't know. It's not necessarily crazy talk to say it's all right there for Nebraska, because I think there's still plenty on the table for this team. But when is something going to change? Because clearly something has to change. What that change is, I don't know. 2280 says that was an ignorant fan comment. Not showing up would cause a negative ripple effect. The only positive reason for any recruit to come right now is the full stadium. Let's just fly rapid fire through these here. How many of the players on the current team are divas that need coddled and disciplined softly, or they shut down? In other words, what coaching styles of former Husker players even work with the kids that play football nowadays? I don't know. Eric says, I'm just now tuning in, but I'm guessing that the Pazzo meter is at a high. We've only had, one pause today?
One.
Not bad.
Maybe two.
Yeah, not bad. Not bad.
Maybe three. No, I'm just playing.
0650 says, let these seniors leave with that weight. We lost the sellout. That's a lifelong memory. Now, if you win and make the bowl and lose the sellout in the same weekend, you get your revenge. 6785, when do we remove those accustomed to losing? Not saying the kids want to lose, but I saw a bit of give up on Saturday. I didn't. I think they just missed plays, right? I think that generally they were in the right spot. They just weren't good enough. Just didn't make the play. Cubsker says, Rule needs to tell these guys that these are the two biggest games of their season. We need if we die all over again. Corey says, exactly. It shouldn't take Bud Crawford every week to wake these guys up. A lot there. Appreciate you guys and your comments. We also have a text from 3994 regarding Nebraska men's basketball. Stricky and I hit the road up to Sioux Falls yesterday and then the road back yesterday afternoon. 3994, we will read your text. We'll give you guys what we saw in Sioux Falls, what we didn't see in our reaction to Nebraska men's 3-point loss to St. Mary's when we get back to hour 2 of On the Block.
Follow Austin, Strick, and On the Block on Twitter at Austin Orman, eStrick20, and On the Block 93.7. More of On the Block coming up. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Open at 8th and R in the Haymarket. Come check out Lincoln's newest brewery with 12 beers on tap, including the popular Single Axle Light American Lager, Brick Street Amber Wheat, and so many more. There's daily drink specials like $1 off Moscow Mules on Tuesdays, $6 IPAs on Fridays, and $6 Bloody Marys on Saturdays. Stop by Tuesday through Thursday from 4 to 9 p.m., Fridays 4 to 11 p.m., Saturdays 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Sundays from noon to 8 p.m. It's Salt Mine City, Lincoln's newest brewery at 8th and R.
You can help fight deadly diseases like RSV and influenza while getting paid for your time. Velocity Clinical Research is now seeking clinical trial participants in your area. Participants can receive compensation for study-related time. No health insurance is needed to join. Find a study near you at velocitytrials.com. That's velocitytrials.com.
With a wide variety of menu options, including the best prime and Wagyu steaks in Lincoln, if you haven't been to Tavern 180, you're missing out. Try any of their steak options paired with one of their well-known martinis, and this will soon become your favorite date night spot. Call your friends for a casual get-together where steak, shrimp, chicken, and tasty cocktails await your arrival. Tavern 180, located next door to Tanner's at 30th and Yankee Hill.
Ryan, with all this red and all these people around, I'm still not seeing the tailgate.
Todd Spidell, former body shop owner, terrible driver.
We're getting close. Now, did you know with 3 locations in Lincoln and hundreds of years of combined technician experience, we can get Husker fans back on the road even quicker and safer after their tailgate mishaps? Oh, Todd, turn left right here.
Left or right?
Left, right here.
Right?
Well, you wait for the tow truck. I'm getting a hot dog.
Well, I guess while I'm waiting. All right, most recommended Eustace Body Shop.
Woohoo! Dude, you should be on American Idol.
You really think so?
No.
Accidents happen, even to Husker fans. If it happens to you, call Eustace Body Shop, where our customers send their friends.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
Hey everyone, Lance here with Black Label. We specialize in creating custom crafted decks, pergolas, patio covers, and more. Plus, our retractable screens, gazebos, and patio enclosures create the ultimate outdoor retreat. With over 50 years of combined experience, we're not just builders, we're creators of unforgettable memories.
Call them today at 402-730-6333 or visit blacklabelbuilt.com for a free consultation.
Let's turn your backyard dreams into reality.
Black Label Built, built to serve, built to last.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstorats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
What a day. I could sure use an afternoon pick-me-up. Hold up. The new 93.7 The Ticket location has a milk, coffee, and tea inside? Oh, yeah. This is a game changer.
Need an afternoon pick-me-up? How about a coffee or smoothie on your way to work? Stop by the Ticket Mill location on 1040 O Street to get your go-to drink or try out our new game day drinks exclusive to the Ticket Mill location. We know it'll make your day a million times better.
The Link Grill Draft and Crafts is your spot in Southeast Lincoln for great food and drink. They're serving new menu items and a killer craft cocktail menu with your favorite draft beers. You'll love their pizza and new entree options. It's a great place to watch any live events, and they have music bingo every month. They have an aggressive loyalty program that rewards fans with 7% back on all purchases. Home of the Nebraska Power Hour every night from 8 to 9 p.m. Order online at thelnkgrill.com or stop in at 84th and Highway 2 today.
Stevens & Smith Construction is a full-service, employee-owned concrete company that specializes in residential and commercial foundations and flat work. They've been a leader in the concrete industry since 1971, with nearly 250 employees combining from more than 2,000 years of service. With locations in Lincoln, Omaha, and Kansas City, they're united in quality, integrity, and professionalism to create excellence in construction. Learn more today at stevensandsmith.com.
I can't believe I just scratched that card. Find my insurance card.
Dude, what do you have in this glove box? Ew, are these socks dirty?
Oh, forget about the socks. I need my insurance card.
Just pull it up on the State Farm mobile app.
But I can do that? Oh, hey, I can do that.
Yep, it's called service.
I can file a claim on here too?
Yeah, it's called service.
Whoa, I can call my agent too?
It's called service.
Call your local State Farm agent, Vinny Krekak, at 402-474-1173.
College football in Lincoln, America. The time has come. Start your game day off right with the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the ticket crew as they bring you all the coverage you need to get you ready for the action. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Brought to you by General Fire and Safety, Raisin Canes, Perch Merch, Sunbelt Rentals, Mullen Motors, Select Plumbing, and the Kindler Hotel. On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland.
Strickland for three. And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Presented by NEBCO. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
Welcome into hour 2 of the show. He's Strick. I'm Austin. Thanks for finding us here at 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com, as well as on our video streams brought to you by our friends at Sartor Heyman Jewelers. Appreciate NEBCO for their sponsorship of the show. Don't forget, Constructors Lincoln is looking for mechanics, all sorts of other positions as well. But if you're a mechanic and you're looking to switch things up, we can only highly recommend you check out NEBCO at constructorslincoln.com or nebcoinc.com. Quick text from Justin here on the text line. I'm not saying that the officiating was a direct result or reason that Nebraska lost on Saturday, but doesn't the team have a gripe with the Big Ten officiating in particular? And I'm sure there are some other calls as well. Once again, yeah, Stricky, not great. Jamal Banks has one on the far sideline where it looks like he's getting tugged down.
That should have been a call.
Then the last play of the game, Stricky. How more obvious can it be? Right in front of an official, it's not called. Now that Nebraska didn't have chances earlier in the game or on that last drive. But you can't just say, oh, we want to let the players decide the game. Because guess what? The player decided to grab Jamal Banks' shoulder pad and jersey.
To keep him from even making an attempt. I mean, that's definitely a missed one. It's unfortunate. But again, when you're a bad team and have been, look, they're a good team. It's just they haven't been able to break out of the muck and the mire that they found themselves in over the last years, right?
Yeah.
But when you're not, even the more, and why I don't give them credit, or I can even overlook it, or even try to put it on somebody else, is because of the way that they've been playing. No urgency, no passion. You've got to pump and prime them. When you take in like a team, like we were a bad team in Dallas, right? This is before we turned it around. A new management comes, new beginnings, new coach. Don Nelson comes in. Now we're talking about the difference about that switch.
Mm-hmm.
The difference of a mentality. The mentality has to be within you, though, right? You get out the weeds. So, at this time, Jason Kidd and Jim Jack, they were young and they go on and do their own things. And Jamal Mashburn, all them, they weren't able to do it together. Mm-hmm. Move them out. New crew comes, new coach, new ownership eventually. But the mindset has to be within you. And we end up changing it around in half the season. The exact record that we had at the beginning on the negative side with losses, we had turned that around and had that same record in the win department on the other side just missed the playoffs by 4. Right? So you can sense that it was turning. But what was the change in the mentality, Austin? It was the passion. It was the doing. Even if you lost the game, at least the people felt good about it because they're like, you know what? They gave it. And then guess what? You give all you're down 20-some points to the defending champions in the Bulls, and everybody in that building probably thinks it's over except the team that's in that, and we come back and win the game. Right?
Yeah.
It has to be in you.
Already.
If it's not in you, you're not going to be able to do that switch. It just was bad management. It was bad. It was just bad culture. Right? But the other part, you have to be like, I don't like what I see. And when it's not until you change that mentality is when it's going to change. So for me, when you start to see them consistently doing the right thing, swarming the ball, not letting just things slip, cover 3 guys supposed to be deep, he doesn't get back there, busted. When you stop seeing that type of stuff, because you see the good teams, guess what they do? They're there because they're disciplined. That's what I'm saying. I don't know if Nebraska's there.
None of the plays that Nebraska could have made would have been spectacular.
No.
They'd have been basic plays.
Basic. You got to change. You've got to turn that around, Austin. You've got to be able, because if you don't, guess who sees it too? Refs.
That part.
Refs aren't giving you calls if they just think you're, that's why that's why Detroit is continuously bad. But guess what? When they play their butts off, they get benefit. And referees see that stuff too. You're hustling through screens. They might give you one because the guy moves a little bit, as opposed to you just kind of laying on the screen and then, you know what I'm saying? Same thing with a block. If you're hustling, dipping, trying to really get there, they may see that arm. If they miss it, okay, come back and do it again. Like, don't get frustrated because they missed it the first time. Go back and do it again. Oh, wait. Yeah, now they pick up on it. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, and if you do get frustrated, don't hang your head and mope. Don't say, oh, we missed it and pout. And don't try too hard to make a play. Just put that energy into doing your job the next play.
Yeah.
Let's go to 39.94 here because I do want to talk some Husker hoops here before we get to Brian Munson. 39.94. Strick with, I think that's, can I do math? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's a very small exclamation point. But I think 5 exclamation points. How do you feel about this basketball team? Lots of new faces. St. Mary's game definitely showed flashes, but got a long way to go. Where are you at with Husker hoops, Ricky?
How do I feel?
Where are you at with them? How do you feel? What do you think? 3-1 through 4 games.
I'm a little worried.
Okay.
And not in a bad way. I'm just worried that the expectations that we observed last year may not be what you see this year. And that's not a bad thing. It's you've got to look at it from this standpoint. You've added multiple point guards that are traditional style point guards. That ain't the way you play. You don't run an offense, you don't run a style of play that is set for that style of traditional. Now, guess what you saw with St. Mary's? They had traditional guards and they ran traditional sets, especially when things broke down. They may have been running something else, but then when things broke down, they looked at, I want that matchup, and then come on. Like it don't even, like, it seemed to me that it depended on who was on who and what matchup they wanted, and they were given the deference to do that, right? Yeah, come on. It would be the 3-man sometimes.
Well, that was Barrett that started the game off with 10 points in the first 4 minutes.
Right? That's what I'm saying. It wasn't always, it'd be the big sometime, the other big, pick pop, sometimes roll, sometimes ghost. It was doing a lot of different traditions, but they have traditional guys. Nebraska has traditional guys. They have traditional big men that don't do what Rink does.
Yeah. But are used like traditional big men.
Right. So you're not using Braxton Mia in what would be conducive for him to have success. And then there was a couple of times he rolled. When he rolled, he didn't roll weak angle to make a 2 passing lane. He rolled into the guy, which created an extra defender, which then ended up with a turnover.
Well, and Saxon's a really good defender. So not only do you bring a defender into the picture, you bring an all West Coast Conference defender into the picture.
Yeah. So they're still trying to figure that thing out. They're not good enough, and they don't have enough guys that can go and get one when they need one without it being one-on-one. And you can look at that by way of what just the numbers were.
Mm-hmm.
Just look at what the assist numbers were. 8 on 70-some points. You're not that kind of team. You're not a team with 2 and 3 guys who, when I need it, can go and get it. Guess where that benefit was made? It was at the free throw line. They shot. They've been getting there. Keep doing that.
29.
Keep doing that. 80-some percent, 86%. Keep doing that, but you're not going to always get the benefit of that. So you can't rely on that. And when you can't rely on that, where are you going to go to? And I just don't know yet. That's what I'm saying.
Which is more concerning? Only 8 assists or 15 turnovers?
Can I say both?
I was hoping you would say both.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's not a one-off. I think for me, it's both. Both are concerning because the style of play you play, you're going to have to pass and be able to penetrate and take advantage of rotations and get guys moving and hit the next one. It's got to be multiple. It can't be round the horn one time and shoot. And we saw that a couple of times, and that didn't work out very well because where they're struggling, and if they continue to struggle at this clip, it's not going to be good. This is like what out of their how many games is this now? 3?
4. Mm-hmm.
Out of their 4 games, maybe once they've shot over 30% from 3.
And I think they did it late in that one opportunity.
Right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They can't shoot at 30%. This team, they can't and have great success overall. They can't. Mm-hmm. Now, if they do, then there's something special about this group because that's rare. Where on the other hand, you lose by 3 points and the team you played shot 11 for 23 for almost 50%.
Mm-hmm.
You shoot bad, they shoot good. You make up the difference because they shot horribly from the free throw line. That's really the only difference. But they shot just as many free throws as you. You lose by double digits if they shoot better free throws.
Yeah.
So, it looked like a close game, but was it really? That's the question.
That's just the thing, right? This team can't talk itself into, we played an NCAA tournament team down to the wire. It can't talk itself into that. It has to get better. It has to see what it did well. Again, getting downhill, getting to the free throw line, good. Connor Essegian, 2 of 6 from 3, not elite, but he hit 2 big ones.
Mm-hmm.
Strick Raleigh Wooster hit a big 3 that gave Nebraska some juice. But that was the biggest thing. The 2 biggest things I think you and I took away from this game is number one, we said before the game, a team like St. Mary's, disciplined, fundamental, consistent. Nebraska has to at least match or exceed that discipline, that level of fundamentals, that consistency. Nebraska didn't do it. One of the first things Fred Hoiberg talked about and then was asked about was the start to the game. Nebraska starts off the game horribly. It's down 23-9 at one point. Give the Huskers credit. They crawl their way back, end up taking a 5-point lead. But Strick, it just seems like the effort, the energy, maybe not the effort, but the energy, the intensity, the edge, that dog you talked about last week, sometimes Nebraska puts it in a kennel. And again, like you're saying with the football team, you can't coach dog. You can't coach grit. You can't coach energy. Either it's in you or it's not. And the guys that we would like to think it's in for Nebraska aren't consistently showing it.
Yeah. And you like what you saw out of Burke Bernukton jail.
Mm-hmm.
You like what you saw. Great energy. Found a way to just be important, diving for balls, going out of the off court into the stands. Mm-hmm. He was just active. You like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it inspired the other guys to get going. But why should that have to be there? Why should it just not be you come out?
Mm-hmm.
And I talked about that. First to timeout. Maybe manage the run in the middle in the quarter. We saw that. They ended and they came out of the half, looked good. Great energy, maintained energy throughout the game. Didn't execute well because they turned the ball over. And they basically, what St. Mary's did to them in the points off turnover situation is Nebraska only had 9 and they had 21 points. They 2-to-1'd you.
Goodness.
On the points off of turnovers. So they took care of the ball. But what does that speak to? Discipline, execution, doing those things.
You asked Coach Bennett about it, and I think it was very obvious throughout the game, Strick, is that St. Mary's just played on a level, right? When things were going well for him and when things were going poorly for him, they played at the same level. Nebraska was down, and then Nebraska was up and up and up and up and climbing. They get a 5-point lead. Randy Bennett calls one of the most emphatic timeouts I've ever seen a coach call in his life. But his team didn't hang their head, jogged off the court, whatever. They stayed at the level. Nebraska is prone to these emotional swings, kind of flow of the game swings. And okay, when you're at home and you have a home crowd that's excited behind you, ride the wave. But Nebraska doesn't maybe ride the wave to the fullest. The Pentagon got rocking in a couple moments, right? And credit the team for injecting some juice in the building. I don't want to put a guy on blast. I don't want to put him out on Front Street, air dirty laundry, anything. But to me, Nebraska needs more from Juwan Gary, right? If he's the energy guy, if he's the dog, if he's the defender, number one, he is struggling and actively hurting the team on offense. Taking movement threes, first 2 possessions of the game or first possession of the game, not what he's supposed to do. Nebraska's going to him to run ISOs from the elbow. Not gonna work. And then you mentioned it when it happened late. Nebraska needs a stop down 3. They get it because Juwan Gary is hounding Mikey Lewis, who had almost 30 points for 94 feet, right? We're not asking him to go 94 feet all the time. But that level of intensity, that level of aggression, of moving the feet, we didn't see from Juwan Gary all night. That is his role. That is his path to being an impact player. And we saw it on the most important possession. But it wouldn't have been the most important possession if he had played like that all game.
My man, you saw it. You saw exactly what I saw, and that's the fact. You know, it depends. It depends on what you want to do. Do you want to go to the next level? You're not going to go to the next level, and you're not going to be
not
Klay
shooting like
Thompson.
that. No hitting without a
You're
handle
not going
like
to be
that.
No, you're not going to be Klay Thompson. You better raise the level of eyes on you by way of your defense, physicality, defense, activity. You want to look like Draymond Green 2.0, if that's what you want to be.
Yeah.
So you not giving that is not gonna speak to that. That's how I got there, because I knew that I'm not gonna be Allen Iverson. I'm not gonna be Kobe. I'm not gonna get those shots like that. So let me go out here and be a defensive hound and be a change of pace guy. And I get mine off in fast break. I'm gonna push this ball, and I'm gonna put pressure on them every time I get it. And then maybe, you got caught slipping. Bayou Classic to the Baja.
There you go.
Let me drop one off on you. Now you're aware of me. Bayou Classic to the drop off. Dirk for 3. Nash for 3. Oh, now you're back to the midi. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's how I got mine off. Look for any way to do it. It's not going to always come. And then guess what? The more confident they get in you, then I got ISOs. Then I got post-ups. Then I got big, but you had to earn that. But the staple point was always defensive. And that's one thing that no matter how well or how bad I played, you can count on.
Yeah.
He should be that for Nebraska. He's not. They don't even have that. Sejan can't do it.
Griffiths
can't do
Wooster
it.
can't do it. Ulis
Worcester maybe a little bit. He's pretty good. He's got good feet.
Right, but not the
like
energy,
Juwan.
intensity.
Right.
No. Ulis could be, but I think he's too soft spoken.
Burkay, I like him.
Has some spunk.
Yeah. But you should be the guy to be able to do that to anybody that they put on you, or you get put on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big Bird, appreciate your couple of texts here. 2 quick ones from Jacob and Lincoln. Couple good texts to get here too. He says, "I'm sorry, we've been complaining for years. The Hoiberg system has been unable to attract a traditional point guard. That's been what we've wanted for years. Is it not? We're not complaining about Nebraska going to traditional type players, right? Raleigh Wooster has played fine for this team. I think he's been what they wanted him to be. No problems with him. I think Braxton Mia was sold a bill of goods right now.
Yeah.
Or they saw a vision for him that's not coming to fruition. If you want an example of how Braxton Mia should or could be used, look 50 miles up the road. Right? That's what Braxton Mia could be. That could be the outline. That's not how Nebraska's using him. They're putting him in tough positions that I just don't think he's capable of making the plays Nebraska needs him to make. And here's this, Strick. We'll wrap up the segment with this, also from Jacob and Lincoln. St. Mary's was a 5 seed in the tournament last year. I don't think the sky is falling. Correct. But we saw the same stuff against St. Mary's as we did the first 3 games. Yes, it's only 2 weeks of the season, but you only get so many weeks. It's time for Nebraska to show some improvement, to show something different, to take the lid off the basket, to not commit careless turnovers, but they're still doing that. This is not an NCAA tournament team right now. This team will need to fight to get into the NIT. And I'm going to dig into this to see just how often it's been that Nebraska goes to the postseason in back-to-back years, because I don't want to view making the NIT as a failure, right? It wouldn't be as good a tournament as they made last year, to be sure. But this is not a Nebraska program that makes the postseason consistently that often. Nebraska has a lot to fix. NCAA tournament is a pie-in-the-sky dream right now. Let's just see game-by-game improvement, see where they're at come conference play.
Yeah, but they've got to look, the conference is down to me across. It's everybody is pretty much on the same keel of what type of team are you going to be this night? Mm-hmm. Because if you don't show up and be that, you're going to get beat. Now, the benefit of what Purdue is right now, shout out to them. They're actually doing better than what I actually thought coming out the gate. But guess what? They had a young point guard, went through the growing pains. He's now seasoned 2 years down the road now, where he's now the leader of that squad.
Yeah.
And he's got him working. He's got him rolling. But one thing that they've always had is they've had a traditional style of offense.
Yeah.
Say what you will. They've had a traditional style with big men, pick and rolls, a lot of misdirection stuff, come off shoot. They have a pretty traditional offense, whereas Nebraska's offense is very read and react. It's not really set up for a point guard to be able to create situations, opportunities. Like a point guard, anytime a point guard has the ball in a situation to where it's time to make a play, there's always 3 options. Matter of fact, there's 4. Me, myself, I come off. If I'm not very confident in that, then it's 3. It's strong side. It's come off, read, roll, where the cover's coming from. Weak side, strong side. Strong side dip, easy to the corner, fire. That's 1. Weak side, rotation, come off, stretch it. What I told you about what St. Mary's did. St. Mary's would stretch it out and take space. 2 with you, and then they would find where either the cross or the dump down.
Such a good skip pass.
Right? Very good. And so that's the one where then it goes either back, where there's a rotation, no rotation, drive, there's a play. That's a play for somebody. It's one or the other. And then depending on where that rotation is, who you beat, who comes, there's another one to back to the weak side corner or back to the strong side. So it's always at least 3 options on a good team where there's a good offensive style of play. It should be at least 3. To them, it's that handoff, it's that cut, it's usually like 2. For me, it's usually 2. Unless you get back to the weak side and then it's still 2 because it's him shoot or it's weak side corner. Because really they're not looking in the middle. So it just seems like Nebraska's offense is set for 2 as opposed to 3 to 4 options. Good shooting point guard is going to give you 4. Because if he comes off and you go under the screen, I light you up. That's 1. And then the other 3 options that I just ran through.
That it is. What a breakdown there from the Husker Hall of Famer, Eric Strickland. We'll be there on Friday for Nebraska Creighton for analysis.
I won't.
The ticket will be in how about that? Number 35 for Strick. You're going to be celebrating. You're going to be living it up. But we will continue bringing you some Nebraska basketball analysis all season long. You guys do have some more texts on Nebraska basketball here. We will get to them. Don't worry. We're going to do that in the crossover. We're going to call up Brian Munson of Husker Online. Husker football recruiting conversation We'll wrap up with a little crossover of some Nebraska men's basketball thoughts after we're done talking to Brian Munson of Husker Online.
Download our app by searching for 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day wherever you are. More of On the Block next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
The Link Grill, Draft, and Crafts is your spot in Southeast Lincoln for great food and drink. They're serving new menu items and a killer craft cocktail menu with your favorite draft beers. You'll love their pizza and new entree options. It's a great place to watch any live events, and they have music bingo every month. They have an aggressive loyalty program that rewards fans with 7% back on all purchases. Home of the Nebraska Power Hour every night from 8 to 9 p.m. Order online at thelnkgrill.com or stop in at 84th and Highway 2 today. Mulberry Barbecue is the answer to all your lunch and dinner cravings. They have everything from smoked turkey sandwiches to brisket burritos to burnt-in sandwiches and pulled pork. Try a dinner plate option of barbecue nachos, a half-smoked chicken, a full slab of ribs, and so much more. Don't forget their great sides like mac and cheese, cheesy potatoes, barbecue beans, or red slaw. Mulberry Barbecue open Monday to Saturday from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. at 11th and Cornhusker Highway.
Garage doors can be expensive. Are you keeping yours in the best condition possible? This is Cameron Hall with Doors Plus. Doors Plus is a locally owned business that prides itself on the fast, reliable, and friendly service. Doors Plus offers flexible scheduling so you can book an appointment that fits your busy day. My team and I will come out to your property, both commercial and residential, and provide you with the necessary information you need to make sure your garage door is in working and smooth condition. Give Doors Plus a call today at 402-590-5800 to book an appointment and learn more about our preventative maintenance plans. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
Hey Husker Nation, this is Todd Euler, two-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at windowworldlincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, showers likely throughout the day. It'll be breezy too, an afternoon high around 59. Tonight, showers likely early and partly cloudy, below around 41. And tomorrow, we'll see mostly sunny skies return. It'll be breezy with a high around 51. I'm meteorologist Kyle Fletcher for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back on the block. We're not wasting any time. We're headed to our VIP line brought to you by Allo Fiber, where they understand the importance of exceptional service with local heart. Talk to Brian Munson of Husker Online. Well, Brian, we kind of called our shot last week. We mentioned that the Bills haven't had nearly as much of an issue beating Kansas City in the regular season as they have in the postseason. Do you at least feel okay about beating them in the regular season, or is it just, yeah, whatever, let's see it again in February?
Oh, I mean, obviously it's a great test. I mean, that's it's a fabulous team that rolls out guys like Worthy and Kelsey and, Hunt, and they can go out there and go toe-to-toe with anybody. And actually what I really respected about them last night was watching them on defense. I really feel like they've made some massive improvements on that side. And, of course, now they're figuring out ways to get Worthy of the football, and they're only going to get more dangerous as they go down the stretch. I think that's what people need to kind of realize. And I'm sure Buffalo is thinking about that as well. Those two teams always do a great job of kind of setting each other up and giving them something else to kind of think about. It seems like like Casey's laying in the weeds with Worthy, then they spring him on Buffalo, and then, Samuels is sitting out there in the weeds too and doesn't really have any type of impact for Buffalo all season. He goes out and has a pretty good week, and I think both squads are going to get better, and Buffalo's got a couple really tough games coming up here in the future. It'll be nice to have a couple more tests, like with the 49ers in 2 weeks, and they play the Lions, I think, a couple weeks after that. And you get the Patriots twice and the Jets again or whatever. And, there's some really kind of not tough games to kind of go on top of it. But I think you take that win if you're either squad, against the other one every time you can. But obviously, I think those two teams will be playing somewhere else down the line.
As just a neutral kind of observer in this, yes, please sign me up for more Bills Chiefs. It's always a good game. Well, Brian, the reason we bring you on, Husker football recruiting, Huskers did it. They completed the trifecta of flips we talked about not long ago. Dawson Merritt officially decommits from Alabama, commits to Nebraska. What does that mean for the Huskers and for the 25 class?
Obviously he jumps in and he's the number one rated or the top rated player, in the class. I mean, he's the number 16 edge, I think is what it was, and number 150-ish kind of player overall nationally. He's a big time get. I mean, everybody says edge is a position. I think people kind of lose like what it actually is. He's a 6'3", 6'3.5-ish kind of 215-pound guy. If he's a hand in the dirt guy, it's not anything like immediate at all. I mean, I think really this guy, you can see him as kind of a 2-point kind of standing, pin your ears back kind of guy that can get after the quarterback, is very, very capable of going sideline to sideline, making plays. He makes a lot of his plays behind the line of scrimmage, which is exactly what Nebraska needs. He is fun to watch on film. I don't know if I can just encourage everybody to go out there and find his huddle. He flashes all the time. And he has got some really, really nice film to kind of go out there and check out. He'll be back in town this weekend as a Nebraska commitment, which is huge. So as Nebraska is kind of trying to finish things out and round things out, with, other players and trying to put some finishing touches on the 2025 class, never hurts to have a guy like Merritt jump in for the sake of people that are kind of maybe still trying to find that positive thing to kind of put Nebraska over the top. You basically get a guy from an Alabama commitment to flip. And I think the bigger picture here that I think you can't undersell this. Nebraska makes another nice big play into the Kansas City metro area, particularly for next year. There's a lot of really good players in the 2026 class and obviously the 2027 and 2028 classes that Nebraska has already offered and have hosted a number of times already. So I think there's a lot of good things out of this commitment to Nebraska.
How are things going with the in-state? This is just from my personal knowledge. In-state recruit tight end. We're looking at the tight end position. Haven't really seen a lot of work out of the tight end position as far as top talent at this point, or use of them. But what's your thoughts on Chase Lofton?
Yeah, I think Chase is an interesting dude. I think he's tight end classified, but he's really more of a hybrid flex style. Why? He's not really a true tight. I mean, if you look at the class currently and you have Bear Kenny that's there from Utah, and Bear's really more of a third offensive tackle. Let's just go ahead and say it. I mean, I think that he has great athletic ability and he has really soft hands, but I think that what Nebraska really likes about him is that he's a savage when it comes to blocking. And I think that that's going to be music to the ears of some Nebraska fans. But then I think you take a look at a player like Lofton, like Carter Nelson even, and you say, can Carter Nelson or Lofton be that guy? And the answer to that question, is like, not immediately. You're really looking at more of a hybrid kind of style player. And I think with Lofton, I think what's tremendous about him is that, yeah, he has that size, but he also has great athleticism. I think it's also that he's a fabulous route runner for how big he is. And I think that that's what really kind of firmly puts him in the camp of really probably more of a guy that works out of the wide receiver room, and maybe plays more of like a slot kind of guy versus the guy that's going to be hand in the dirt, playing closer to the offensive tackle position. But I think Nebraska needs to develop that role. And I think this is where maybe you were kind of going with your question. I think that Nebraska has got a player, like Lofton on the roster, like with Carter Nelson. And Carter has had a couple of opportunities to kind of go out there and make some plays as a freshman. And clearly he is very athletic and he's fun to see when they get the ball, into his hands. But I think it's a position that Nebraska really has to sit down and figure out some ways to kind of get it a little bit more involved. I don't think that they're there yet. I think that they're still trying to find ways to kind of get that guy involved in the players that are kind of more in that flex Y style kind of position that are really sitting more in the wide receivers room. So I think Lofton still holding pat on that Florida State commitment, at least for now. But I know that he's got some other teams, stepping up that want him to take a look at him, like Missouri, and obviously Nebraska is making a push here too, trying to close out the 2025 class. But I think Nebraska needs to find a better role and define it better for some of those players that are more like Lofton and Nelson.
Yeah.
To that point, Matt Rule's talked a lot about recruiting versatile players that can do a lot of different things. There's a time and a place for that. Is it okay for Nebraska maybe to take a flyer or two like that and have a guy or two like that on the roster, and they need to specialize elsewhere? Is this just a Matt Rule thing where they just want versatile players? They'll call them football guys, whatever you will, and they'll just take the best football players they think they can find and just see what the body develops into and see what they can do once they actually get to campus?
It's a slippery slope. I think a lot of people tell you that they should recruit frames when it comes to being an offensive tackles or offensive lineman. And I tell you, sometimes those guys don't develop. And I think that you have to go after aggressiveness, an aggressive style, tenacity. Maybe it's intelligence, maybe it's something else. But I think people get I think Division I athletics in general is about checking the box. You're never going to go back to your coach, if you're an assistant coach, and say, I found this 6'2" offensive tackle, and I think we need to offer him, because it's not prototypical.
Mm-hmm.
But, you need to find those guys that are maybe towards the lower side, or at least maybe check the box, but then they have another box or two to kind of go along with it that you really need to bring into the room. Like I said, like an aggressive style, maybe a guy that plays other sports, so he's a versatile athlete. Maybe a guy like, I love interior offensive linemen that are wrestlers. I'll just be flat out honest with you. I think guys that understand leverage, understand how to keep a strong base, that they can apply that very, very quickly to a football field. So I think that you have to kind of put those things together, but D1s are very different. You've got to check boxes. They all have to kind of look very similar. They have to project, I think, to getting to the next level. D2s, you can kind of come down off of that. You're really looking for ball players first. So yeah, I think that's probably, the part there where it gets to be a little slippery, but I think Nebraska, you just can't go out there and just say it's frame, it's size each and every time. I think the ball skills obviously matter, and you have to get just past the prototypical side, and they have the longest arm reach, or they have the biggest shoe or whatever. What else are they good at? And not just tell me that you're going to bring in the dude that's going to break the tape measure. You need to find a spot in which he makes sense and try to develop him.
And that's interesting, because I think both sides of this argument I'm about to lay out could say we just trust our process, right? Matt Rule can say that he trusts their development, their recruiting process, because they've seen good football players, they take good football players, and they put them in drills, they see where they fit, they see what the body develops into. That's been the way they've done it. But I think there's an argument for the other side of this, Brian, too, where there are plenty of coaches throughout history who need guys to check the box, who miss out on maybe some players that go under the radar because they're not prototypical size, But when those coaches go outside of their boxes to check, like you said, it's either because, all the boxes are actually checked and no one else sees it, or maybe there is an unchecked box, but one box is double checked. It's an elite standout trait that makes it worth the flyer. And those players are almost the exception that prove the rule to those coaches about why they go after guys with frames and why it was acceptable for them to go outside of their normal framework for this particular player.
Well, and it's like, I've had this conversation online a couple times on Red Sea Scrolls where, we're talking about a 6'1" defensive tackle, for an example. And you bring up Aaron Donald, and you bring up Ed Oliver, and you talk about what makes those guys kind of special, because they don't have Ndamukong Suh kind of size, right? Like they're a couple 3 inches shorter than Suh was. But what you have to see is on the football field is that they are capable of doing things differently, and that you're not going to hold against them the matter of not being prototypically sized, that you have tremendous athletes, you have incredibly strong dudes that have this ability to get upfield and make plays unlike anybody else like you've ever seen. And maybe, like you said, check the box twice or as strongly of any other person as you ever had to check the box for, that you've evaluated before. So I think that those are absolutely scenarios that evaluators and evaluations need to consider when it comes to that. Like, do you get around not being ideally sized because you have a playmaker, potentially at a position? I think it's a little bit more difficult to do on the offensive line. But I think at other spots, I can always go around and kind of try to find exceptions, when it comes to guys, particularly like interior defensive linemen. It's a little hit or miss. Like, I think that typically you'd find, 6'3", 6'4", 6'5", Chris Jones being the high side of that, to a Calais Campbell, potentially as well. Like he's a massive human being down to an Aaron Donald or to an Ed Oliver, for example.
Two quick ones to wrap up with you here. Brian Munson of Husker Online, our guest on our Allo Fiber VIP line. Nebraska against Wisconsin will welcome 2027 quarterback target Trey Taylor to town. What does Nebraska see in him? What do you see in Trey Taylor? Where do the Huskers stand with him right now?
Well, he's a very busy dude. I mean, he has taken a lot of trips. Nebraska offered him recently, I think in the October timeframe when he was up there for a visit. He loved it. His dad loved it. I mean, this is really a guy, in my opinion, that Nebraska has jumped squarely into the sweepstakes to get. And this is maybe a player that's trending a little bit more to Michigan right now, and like I said, I mean, he's been, I think it was 45 or 46 visits, already in total. He's already been to Michigan 12 times. I was just pulling up his profile right now. He's been to Michigan 12 times, and he's been on 46 unofficial visits that we know of. So if you put Michigan and Michigan State and Notre Dame together, that would be half of all the trips that he has taken already, and that's 23 out of 46 for those three schools. So I think Nebraska is up against it a little bit. Michigan's in really kind of an interesting situation, obviously, because I don't know if you guys are paying attention to with what's going on.
Bryce Underwood, right?
Yeah, with Bryce Underwood and Dave Portnoy and the NIL money that's getting kicked around for him. It's 4 years for $10.5 million or something like that. I mean, just unbelievable kind of numbers being thrown around there. So obviously something that Trey would be interested in kind of hearing how it's going to work out. So Trey Turner, interesting guy, had one of the most memorable interviews I had all last month talking to him. I think Nebraska has got a really nice chance here. It's just the way things look historically with him, you would think Michigan is definitely the trending team for him at the moment.
Last thing for you then, Brian, obviously Nebraska gets its final home game of the year. I mentioned Taylor's going to be in town, Dawson Merritt in town as a Nebraska commit. What does this weekend look like for the Huskers as they host Wisconsin? What does a strong finish to the 2025 class look like?
Yeah, that's an interesting thought. I mean, they get Merritt there in town, like I mentioned before, and Kate Petchock's coming in. I haven't heard anything yet about, Chase Lofton being able to kind of get back or if a Michael Terry III potentially can get in. You know, and we're waiting on some more guys to kind of come in. I know that 2028 they're going to bring in a guy, Darius Smiley, who's a big-time offensive tackle from St. Louis, another guy that Keith Williams is doing a great job in recruiting. So we'll know a little bit more tomorrow, probably more towards the Wednesday timeline about who's going to be coming in. But the 2:30, I think it just needs to be mentioned, the 2:30 start time basically makes every one of the games, the home games in Nebraska had this season, favorable to where, you know, players could travel in, you know, leaving out on Saturday morning. So that was huge for the Huskers this year in their class. And I think it sets up big things for them in the 2026 and 2027 class.
That's Brian Munson of Husker Online, the voice you hear, Brian Munson _ on Twitter, huskeronline.com. Brian, as always, truly appreciate the insight. Congrats again on the Bills' regular season victory. We'll keep tracking it. Tight race for the AFC 1 seed. Lots coming down the pipe in Husker recruiting. Thanks as always, my friend.
Yes, sir, guy. We'll see you guys.
Brian joined us again on our Allo Fiber VIP line, where they understand what to think, Stricky.
The importance of exceptional service with local heart.
Bang, bang, bang. Need the Mike Breen soundtrack for that one. We're going to break. Quick crossover with Jay to wrap things up.
Follow Austin, Strick, and On the Block on Twitter at Austin Orman, eStrick20, and On the Block 93.7. More of On the Block coming up.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
At Anderson Ford, we offer a 5-day return or exchange policy, so you can make sure the vehicle you choose is the best vehicle for you. No pressure. Right now, lease a 2024 Ford F-150 for $395 per month. Experience better at Anderson Ford.
Stock number 1003769, $395 per month lease for 36 months with approved credit, 7,500 miles per year, $5,250 to assigning, no security deposit required. Tax, title, and license fees extra. Residency restrictions apply. Program subject to change. Must take new retail delivery from Anderson Auto Group by 11/30/24. See delivery details.
Load up on meat and more this fall at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's special through November 26th is $3 off on bacon, 25% off hanger steaks, 20% off all summer sausage, and 20% off all cheeses. Locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Highway 2 in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
You're counting on your team to win, so why not prove it? By placing your bets at Warhorse Sportsbook. Their win is your win. Put your money where your mouth is on nearly every sporting event. Use the Warhorse app to check odds and build your bets before placing your wagers in person at Warhorse Casino, including live in-game betting. No bets, no glory. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
At Koppel Chevrolet GMC, we are thankful for so many things this year, starting with our great employees, a generous community, our military personnel, and most importantly, our loyal customer base that continues to drive that money-saving mile of Louisville. Hi, this is Sean Callahan, and on behalf of everybody at Koppel, we want to wish you a happy Thanksgiving and safe travels to wherever they may take you. Happy holidays from Koppel Chevrolet GMC.
League One Volleyball is coming to Omaha this January. Featuring Olympic medalist Jordan Larson and Justine Wong-Arantes, Love Omaha Volleyball is Omaha's newest pro team. The inaugural season will showcase some of the world's best volleyball players, from medalists to NCAA champions and international superstars, with the action kicking off on January 24th at the Liberty First Credit Union Arena. Visit LOVB.com for more information and to purchase tickets. Volleyball is the next major league.
Hey everyone, Lance here with Black Label. We specialize in creating custom crafted decks, pergolas, patio covers, and more. Plus, our retractable screens, gazebos, and patio enclosures create the ultimate outdoor retreat. With over 50 years of combined experience, we're not just builders, we're creators of unforgettable memories.
Call them today at 402-730-6333 or visit blacklabelbuilt.com for a free consultation.
Let's turn your backyard dreams into reality.
Black Label Built, Built to serve, built to last.
Hey, Husker Nation, this is Todd Euler, two-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top-quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at windowworldlincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We'll give Jay the segment off. Busy weekend for him. Austin Norman, Eric Strickland with you to finish out. Back to the text line. You guys had some texts here. Money G, sorry we ran out of time to ask Brian Munson that. We'll mark that down for the future. Here's the thing, Stricky. Craig says, need to form a sports psychologist army for Husker men's sports. Fragile-minded men, but the women are killers.
Wow. I can't complain.
Kind of facts right now.
Because, women's volleyball is like, shoot. They're like, whatever it's going to be. Now, again, I think the women's team is fine. To me, I'm not going to say that they're St. Mary's light, but they're I think Amy does a really good job of getting them prepared and coaching them. I think once they get into really super athletic guards, they don't really have. It's going to have to be a collective effort. Like they're going to have to do a good job with short recovers, hoping that they don't shoot well that night type of thing, right? Because it's going to be a lot of paint, just keeping stuff out of the paint and, just saying, hey, they're going to have to live by it and hopefully they die by it and we fundamentally sound and we rebound and we do all that and then we execute on the other end. I think they have a similar method because they're not going to be super athletic and they've got to be very fundamentally sound. That's the way they got to play. Volleyball now is dominant. Mm-hmm. I think they learned their lesson, going down to SMU. I'm glad that happened to them when it did. I think it put them on a refocus, but Coach Cook, he's not going to allow them to settle for anything less. And guess what he's doing? You trick it off if you want to. Every year, there's another one coming right behind it. I think they just signed the number one outside hitter. I had it.
Yeah, another fantastic class.
Yeah. Slip up if you want to, basically. There's another one coming. That's kind of the thing that they got going on right now. So they got a lot of looking over their shoulders, so they got to stay on top of things. So, yeah.
Al says, why wasn't Coach Hoiberg able to keep last year's offense? Doesn't he have a guy to run it like Rink Mast did?
No.
That's the problem.
Yeah, the unfortunate thing is Rink Mast is injured, and no, there's Mia can't do it. Now Burke is capable, but he just hasn't been able to shoot it yet, like Rink does. Now Burke he's a very cerebral, heady, European style. He's got that. Mm-hmm. He just hasn't become what they like out of Rink yet. But I think he's capable. Now, if he turns into it, they just don't have shooting right now that's very super consistent.
Right. Which is why, Strick, I almost think that Nebraska might need to tweak the starting lineup and go with the lineup you and I saw. Yeah, and we were pretty successful for spurts yesterday. Wooster, Esijan, Williams, Gary, Boyukton-Gel. That to me is probably Nebraska's best offensive lineup. And they used it at times. That was the starting lineup when Mia was out. I don't know if this is tinfoil hat. I don't know if this is common knowledge, public knowledge, whatever. My read on the situation, Strick, is that obviously having Rink Mast hurts, right? Nebraska was able to get Braxton Mia. You don't turn a guy like that down. But I think Nebraska's vision, the more I watch them use Berke Boyukton-Gel as a small ball 5, is that Will Kyle was the Josiah Alec replacement plan. Start him at the 4, Boyukton-Gel as a backup 5, probably behind Mast, or 2 skilled postmen with Boyukton-Gel at the 4 and then Rink Mast at the 5.
I'm going to forever say I think that's a big miss. I'm not going to go into some of the stuff that you and I know off air. That was that young fella has got that thing that we talk about.
Dog.
Yes, he's got that. He's got that.
Tater, no, Rink Mast will not return this season. He's going to sit out all year and rehab. Should be eligible to come back next year. We'll see if that's what he wants to do or if he moves on to playing professionally. And then, Strick, we touched on this a little bit.
I think he's watching.
I would think so.
I think he's watching to see, okay.
Who I got.
Yeah, that part. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think he's really watching.
The cigar guy, we'll wrap up with this one, get you to old school. He's like, I honestly don't follow Nebraska basketball that close. Is Nebraska supposed to be good this year? My whole life at best, we're almost a tournament team, so I've never really followed them. What was your expectation for the team coming into the year, Strick, in terms of postseason? Has that changed through 4 games?
I'm closely monitoring. There's things I want to see, you know. I want to observe, want to look statistically and then be able to apply it to my eyes and what I'm seeing and what they're able to. They're still feeling their way right now. This is still a point to where they're not locked in on what they know they have, even what they're going to run. I still don't think that they're really locked in on what. I think he's trying to figure out if they can do what they did last year. Can the players feel? You know, you're not going to get that. So this is why I'm saying it may take work, but you're going to have to probably run something uniquely different with different guys in the game. And you don't want to do that because that's a lot of mental. It's a lot of mental strain. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Especially with a bunch of new guys.
New guys.
Yeah, bunch of old team, new guys, a bunch of new guys. You have to be very cerebral. You know what I mean? Like I remembered when I was playing with the Mavs and we ran the triangle. Triangle's a very sophisticated offense. I was able to run it, but not everybody could. I was able to figure out how to get shots off. I had a good summer league. But then it switches. You've got to learn a whole new terminology, a whole new expanded. There's different players. You go from having AC Green dang near as your center and Hot Rod Williams to having Sean Bradley. Totally different style. You got, so we had to switch. You had to be cerebral. You had to be able to pick it up quick, understand what you're trying to accomplish, and be able to learn the new terminology really quick. This happens mid-season.
Right.
So that's what makes it difficult. Are they ready for that? We'll see.
Tater says, we all hope they can at least make the postseason, but Coach Hoiberg doesn't know what he has yet. It's going to be a different game plan this year because Nebraska doesn't have the 3-point shooters it had last season. I think Nebraska did the best it could to replace that, right? You're not going to find a guy like Keisei Tominaga out of the portal. Maybe Nebraska tried, but Esijan hasn't shot it like that. Griffiths didn't shoot it well at Rutgers last year, but has the pedigree for it. I tend to take Coach Hoiberg's word for it that the guys can shoot, and they're just not shooting yet.
Yeah.
But fact of the matter is, Nebraska's 12% done with its season. That's not a lot, but that's plenty. That's enough of a sample size. And I think, Strick, again, I don't want to speak for Coach Hoiberg. I don't want to tell him what to do. The man has forgotten more basketball than I will ever know in my life. And I want to respect that. From the outside looking in, it feels like Nebraska just needs to admit to itself what it has and what it doesn't have right now. And the sooner they make that switch, the less time we have to spend pulling our hair out about the bad reads, the careless turnovers, and not figuring out roles. Figure out what your guys are good at. You should know. You've had them since last summer. You should know what your guys are good at, what they can do, what they can't do by now, right? It doesn't have to implement everything all at once, but every week, let's see something new. Let's see another little adjustment that gets guys more comfortable playing with each other, because it's not a lost season. It's not out the window. We have questions about this team. You can see the outlines. You can see a vision of a competitive mid-tier Big Ten team right now. But it's got to improve because we're seeing the same sort of mistakes through 4 games. And I don't want to put words in your mouth again here, Strick, but it just seems very uncomfortable on the offensive end for a lot of the guys.
Yeah, and it looks like they don't really know. Like, I could tell you what St. Mary's was going to get into when the clock got to 14-ish. I don't know what they're going to do with Nebraska when it gets to that yet.
And I don't know if Nebraska knows.
Yeah, I don't. There hasn't been a defined thing that you can point out yet. So that's what I'm watching. I know some of you guys text in and sent into the stream, and I tried to respond. But yeah, I'm just watching. I'm observing to see what types of adjustments they're going to make.
You guys were awesome today. As always, appreciate it on our Starter Heyman text line and video stream. Nebco's looking for mechanics. Check them out at constructorslincoln.com or nebcoinc.com. Been a fun show. We'll do it again tomorrow. Dive into some Matt Rule, some coordinators, and start looking ahead to Nebraska, Wisconsin. Keep it tuned to 93.7 The Ticket. Old School with DP&J comes your way next. Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next big opportunity? Constructors is hiring. We're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. We offer competitive wages, great benefits, brand new service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities.